Queen Isabella was born on April 22nd, 1451. Isabella was born in Madrid de las Alas, Jerez, Spain. She's a Roman Catholic who was born to John II of Castile and Isabella of Portugal. She lived in the household with Trasimara with her older brother, Henry. 2 years later, after she was born, the younger brother, Alfonso, was also born. When John II of Castile died, Isabella's older brother became King Henry V. They lived in a castle with poor conditions and shortages of money. Isabella had tutors in spelling, reading, writing, grammar, math, art, chess, music, dancing, embroidery, and religion. Isabella became a part of the Queen's household when King Henry's fifth wife was about to give birth. Isabella was forced into several marriages by her brother, King Henry V. They were all for political needs at the time, though. Isabella finally married Ferdinand in 1469. In 1475, a war started against Portugal and ending in 1476 when the Battle of Toro took place. Isabella came to the throne in 1474. King Henry V was a big spender and he did little to reinforce the laws of the kingdom. Some Castilian citizens said that some murder, rape, and robbery happened without punishment. Queen Isabella needed to stop that from happening. Queen Isabella was a strong, short, stocky woman with blue eyes and strawberry blonde hair. She died on November 26, 1504, in Medivil del Campo, Spain. She drove away the Moors and took control in Castile. She put 3 Swiss provinces of Spain back together. Isabella was the first queen of Castile and Leon. She and her husband Ferdinand II brought stability to both kingdoms that became basics for the unification of Spain.
Hello and welcome to the Castle of Minecraftia. Today we will be taking a tour of the Castle of Minecraftia. This right here is our drawbridge. As you can see, there's lots of fire and lava. This is so that when the drawbridge is down, like this, the lava flows in and would kill any potential intruders. When it's up like this, anyone can come through. This structure around the drawbridge and this right here, which controls the drawbridge, is called a gatehouse. It is often manned by 1 or 2 guards. These gates at the drawbridge are called yetts. If the gate was to cover the whole doorway, it would be called a portcullis. Many castles had a retractable portcullis, such like a big door. This open courtyard is called a bailor. Many castles had multiple bailors, and they would be named by the North Bailor, South Bailor, East Bailor, West Bailor, and so on. But we just have one large bailor with a small wheat farm in the northeast corner. These 2 structures here surrounding the throne room are called keeps. Keeps are where emergency supplies are stored for when we are under attack. Keeps are always the most secure and sturdy structures in the whole castle. As you can see, we have 2, one being smaller, this one, than the other one, this one. This is because the larger one is a decoy. This is our main room of the castle, called a hall. This is where the king would stay if he is to visit. As you can see, there is a doorway behind his. There are only 1 way to get into the castle and 2 ways to get out. The drawbridge and this. This is only used by the king. The second exit is called a postern. This is where the king would stay with his wife if we are under attack. There's armor for him, armor for her, and food.
King Louis IX of France, also known as Saint Louis IX, was born April 25th in 1214 in France. His father was Louis VIII and his mother was Queen Blanche of Castile. He is the son and successor of Louis VIII. Louis VIII died in 1226, so his wife ruled from then until 1234, when Louis IX was old enough to rule. When he was king, he worked to make peace and justice. He believed that his duties were to serve the church and lead his people to eternal salvation, being he was raised in a strong Christian household. In 1247, Louis sent his people to investigate throughout his realm to hear complaints of royal officials. He then issued ordinances that became the moral code to guide his officials. Louis banned prostitution, gambling, and judicial duels. He also issued gold and silver coins, which quickly became accepted and helped to establish a uniform coinage in his realm. He was called to settle a quarrel between Henry III of England and his barons. He was firm with the Pope and Emperor in defense of his royal rights. This made him very popular among many, and also made him the most powerful king in Western Europe. His charity was known as his sense of justice because he founded abbeys, convents, hospitals, and almshouses for the poor. Louis's foreign policy of peace enabled him to venture on 2 crusades. A serious illness in 1244 made Louis decide to lead a crusade to recover Jerusalem. Due to other issues, other rulers did not participate. His plan was to damage Egypt so much that it would surrender to Jerusalem. He captured Damietta on June 5, 1249. On his way to Cairo, he and his army of 15,000 were captured. When Louis's army weakened by death and sickness, he had to fall back on Damietta. After Louis was freed, he spent 4 years in Palestine, where he built fortifications and tried to salvage Jerusalem. He finally returned to France in 1254. In 1270, he joined another crusade, which landed in Tunis. While there, he immediately caught typhoid fever and died on August 25, 1270. Louis IX was canonized by Pope Boniface VIII in 1297. William the Conqueror was born in Normandy in 1075. He is the son of Robert, Duke of Normandy. His father died in 1035. William was recognized as the heir to his father. From 1045 through 1055, William dealt with multiple rebellions. William's military and political successes helped him get married to Matilda, the daughter of Count Baldwin of Flanders. He married in 1053. In 1066, King Edward of England died, and Harold was crowned King of England. William got mad and demanded that he be crowned king. He claimed that Edward promised him the throne before his death, and later Harold agreed on it. William went to England in September of 1066 and set up a camp near Hastings. Meanwhile, Harold went to fight another invader and defeated him. When Harold came back and fought William in the Battle of Hastings, William came out the winner. On Christmas Day of 1066, William was crowned the King of England. A Norman aristocracy became the new system of government. William's first years as king were spent crushing rebellions and securing the borders. In 1072, he invaded Scotland and made a truce with the Scottish king. After crushing those rebellions, William ordered a survey to be made of the kingdom. This survey was known as the Domesday Book. It is one of the oldest valid legal documents in Britain. The kingdom settled, and William spent the majority of his last 15 years in Normandy. He spent the last few years of his reign fighting King Philip I of France. He died on September 9, 1087. He divided his land between his 2 sons.
These 2 people right here are the king's personal guards when he visits. If the castle's under attack, he would be informed by a high noble or another guard. He would pull this lever and run through with his wife, the queen, and hide in the sort of bunker. The picture you see on the floor is called a heraldry. The heraldry was like the mark of the castle. The castle wouldn't have like a name, it would be recognized by their heraldry. This structure here is a guard tower. There is one on each side of the front. When you think of a castle, usually you picture the huge front wall and the 2 guard towers. Atop the guard towers, there would usually be archers. These archers could fire onto land, or onto the ocean, or even into the castle if the front walls have already been broken down. As you can see in the distance, the other guard tower is outfitted with a catapult. Many castles were also outfitted with traps. This trap, right here, would set this cannon off, open that door, and would set the hitting catapult off. If that somehow failed, we had this one. Pretty much fail-proof. The supports on the keeps, the wooden parts, are called buttresses.